out. Now, one of the things that I'm getting really picky on is people to get their damn dough straight, right? Money's getting tighter.
Is that the new saying?
Oh my God.
Say it like that.
I'm going to get your damn dough straight. Hey, welcome to our Friday show here. By the way, what are you doing, man?
My mic just fell completely.
Sit still and use your words. There you go.
Hold still.
This is our podcast, right? We're financial advisors here. We like to talk about the stock market and, of course, for personal finances, investment tricks, tips and tricks, and all that great stuff. Blah, 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 blah. What are we talking about today?
Yeah, so, it's November. It's open enrollment.
Oh, Movember.
Movember.
That's the thing. You're not
supposed to shave. You're not supposed to shave. When I worked for the fire department, all the guys
were bet.
Movember. So, hey, it's our time. But no, it's open enrollment. And, you got all these people, HSAs, all these different things you can look at. But then it's close to the end of the year. We got to figure this out. What's everybody doing?
And 2 emails on open enrollment questions today already.
Yeah, yep. I had one yesterday. So
nice. Well, we are going to come with the goods today and actually talk about what do you do at the end of the year, right? I used to do a thing, by the way, with the credit scores. Mm-hmm. So I would say you check every credit bureau, but you skip the last quarter of the year. So in our budgeting class, actually, that's what it says. When you can check your credit, it's free. You can check it at each one of them once a year. Well, that's 3 credit reports, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But you skip the end of the year. And I would say you skip the end of the year because you got other things to focus on, right? There's other dollars to pay attention to. And, it's the holidays and stuff, too. So
yeah, that too.
That does happen. So what do you do? It's the year end. What do you do? What you got?
Well, I think we got to make everybody realize that this is a mix for everybody. Because
sure.
There's some things that, if you're retired, you need to look at. But there's a lot of things that if you're not retired, you got to look at. So I think it's a good mix. I think one of the biggest ones that I'm doing right now is really trying to encourage people, do the Roth conversions. Let's get these done. Let's get them off the books. You hit December 1. If you're trying to do Roth conversions, what's going to end up happening is you go to try to get this done. And it's going to take a while because the process is going to be getting backlogged. Everybody's trying to flood it. So try to get those in early. Make sure you're getting those done. So if you're looking for Roth conversions, there's that. There's also the backdoor Roth. So backdoor Roth's the big one. So if you're working, you're making over the adjusted gross income limit. Or if you're not sure, and you at the same time with this, man, I'm throwing a lot out at once. At the same time with this, the thing is that if you are not sure if you're over the income limit, you really need to start assessing that now. Because if you've been putting all of your money in Roth all year, now you need to recharacterize that, put it in the traditional IRA. Then maybe convert it back to Roth because that's kind of the backdoor Roth. Boom, boom, boom. But it's silly rules, but you got to follow them or it costs you. And we want to keep the dough in your pocket.
And the IRS will find out. They will. I never fails. About April, May, right through tax season, never fails. People go, oh my God, Dustin, I got one of these letters. What do I do? And I'm like, okay, here we go. Yep. Roth conversions for sure. And if that makes sense for you, but of course, the goal of a Roth conversion is you want to pay less tax now than you do in the future. So as long as that makes sense, I find that a lot of times people, they just think Roth conversion, I got to do it. And it's like, well, what if it doesn't make any sense?
Correct.
I'll start with a simple one here. A lot of people in the beginning stages or just getting out there working, maybe your kids if you're older and watching, you can contribute to a Roth IRA up until tax day the next year. And over the last few years, you've had even longer to do it because they've COVID and whatnot. Yeah. But your 401k, you can't. So it's time to figure that out. Now, one of the things that I'm getting really picky on is people to get their damn dough straight, right? Money's getting tighter.
Is that the new saying?
Oh my God.
Say it like that.
I'm going to get your damn dough straight. So you could just see it. Money's getting tighter. You're watching people still spend like it's 2021 and the government's throwing money out of helicopters. You got to stop that, right? That's the end of it. We got to start, getting all this stuff dialed in. I mean, any little particular thing you can do. Like we just started the Augusta rule here in the office. Got it all worked out. I'm going to share that tonight it is shared on our Wine and Wealth.
Nice.
But yeah, little thing you can do, right? It's a little late in the year, but we're going to get it done. So things like that take time to do, and realize, okay, if you're going to fill your 401k up, yeah, you need to get on that. Right?
Yeah. If you hadn't, take the match. I mean, take the stinking match. That's free money. You got to do that. But yeah, that's a good one there. What about HSAs?
Oh, I'm gonna hit you HSAs. I got you.
Open enrollment as well. With looking, do you have a high deductible plan? Do you have the option to go into a high deductible plan? These are things that you should be talking to your HR department about, as well, though, because so many people really don't understand. And the challenge is, as an advisor, what they don't understand is we can definitely look at everything, but we only know what you tell us. Well, what if you don't know something? And maybe the HR department will know that, because that's really what they're supposed to be there for, to teach you about these things. So make sure you're getting all this information. If you've got an advisor, present that to them. Get them to help you. If you don't, get yourself educated, because there's a lot of money that's left on the table by making the wrong decisions just with employer benefits.
Oh, yeah. So for the HSA thing, number one, figure out how much your tax bill is going to be. I got really grumpy this year when I figured out how much I had to pay in taxes.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, man. It's still salty, but figure that out. They're on the IRS website. There's actually, I forgot the link. We'll put it below. But the IRS website, you can actually put in all the stuff, everything you've already paid so far. You do a rough estimate of what you owe. Figure that out, because if you need to change the percentage going to your 401k, well, that's money that goes to you rather than the government, right? If you need to be charitably inclined, right? You want to go give some money away, it's money that goes to somebody or something that you like versus the government. So start figuring that out. See what your total tax bill is going to be, if it's going to be anything. And then, okay, hey, we could use the HSA if you're eligible and things like that. Adding more to your 401k is an easy one, adding to an HSA. Mm-hmm. But what about this? This came up. You have a client that says, I have medical expenses every year, particular illness, and so they use the HSA, they take the money out, and this is part of their life.
Yeah.
So now, what if you put money in an HSA? You can reimburse yourself for your medical expenses, right? So if you put in $3,500 and you have a $3,500 medical expense, even if it's 2 years ago and stuff, you can reimburse yourself. Well, what if you put money in the HSA, get that tax deduction for putting it in there,
right?
Reimburse yourself, and then take that chunk and put it in your 401k?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's an extra step in there, but what if? Or in most people's cases, you can't take a check and put it in your 401k. Right. So you reimburse yourself from the HSA. You have $3,500 in cash. Change your withholding in your 401k for the remaining weeks. Just change it to whatever they'll let you, 60% or whatever you have to, just for a couple weeks, right? Do you not get double the tax benefit on paper there? Like, come on.
Yeah.
We got to think of things like that. They're not illegal. They're just, who's talking about that, right? So, and one last thing.
Oh yeah, come at me.
One last thing, because I told you, I'm coming with the goods. The other part is you get a one-time rollover from your IRA to your HSA. Now, why would you do that, right? Maybe this is something you need to do before the end of the year, but just keep in mind you get one shot at this. There is no exception to this. You may want to fill up your HSA for an upcoming medical expense and get it done in this year. You can, if you don't have the cash, you could take from your IRA and actually do that. And some 401k companies allow it, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But consider it.
And the way that works, it's up to the max on the HSA.
Yep.
But the thing about it is you're taking pre-tax money that's in the IRA and getting that over to an HSA that's technically after tax and gross tax free. So there's a big strategy there that can be played. It's making sure you capture that.
The concept of this is a great year for me and my wife, because she had a major foot surgery, and so it's, hey, let's just fill up the HSA. Mm-hmm. We know that. Why just pay the money out of pocket and keep going? No, let's fill up the HSA, get the benefit. We know we're going to have that medical expense. We didn't need the cash, so now we have in our HSA we have all the receipts and stuff.
Yeah.
And so now maybe next year we go to Disney World, or maybe it's a fun expense, and maybe it's, I don't know, maybe I have a foot surgery. I could if I want to, because we have money in an HSA.
Yeah. Well, talking about the taxes, I think a big one too is looking at where you're at in your standard deduction.
Yeah.
Because from a charitable contribution standpoint, if you think through this, if you're at the standard deduction this year, maybe you're a single person, you've given $12,000 to charity, but maybe you have a house, a mortgage, that you're paying a lot of interest on. That's going to be a new thing that's going to come back in. All the higher interest now in houses with mortgage rates going up. So what if you've paid $6,000 in interest? Well, if that's the case, you can potentially itemize, or maybe you're on the brink. Make sure you're looking at that. It's not going to give you a ton of extra money if you're on the brink, but hey, you know what? If it's a few $100s extra that you can deduct from your income, why not go for it?
Take 10 more minutes on your TurboTax, or however you're doing it. Also, that goes away in a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
So that'll come back into play even more so.
Possibly, we'll see.
Well, we'll see what they do. Yeah, but
Especially the changes.
yeah, we can stop with that. But
all right.
anyways, that's what I got.
I got one more.
Oh, hit me with it then.
You got a big one right here. This is the one. RMDs.
Yeah.
This is end of year.
Fun times over.
If you have not taken your RMD, you got to think about this right this second, because remember, the end of the year, you have until to take the RMD if you're required to take it if you're retired. But also remember, now we've got the inherited IRAs. Before 2020, you have the inherited IRA. You have to take the RMD anyways. 2020, we thought it was one way. Now they changed it up a little bit. So talk through that. Reach out to your advisor. Make sure you're following the rules there. We're still waiting on a little bit of IRS clarification.
A little bit.
Some of this. But
they're tightening the noose, though.
Yeah, but the idea here is be careful. Make sure that you are taking an RMD, because if not, it's a big penalty.
Yep, that's a tough one there. And with the RMD, sometimes people say, I'm taking it because I need the money. And sometimes people say, what's an inherited IRA? I'm taking it because I am forced to. If you're forced to take it, then and you say, I'm just going to invest it anyways, take the freaking RMD now where everything's cheap. We want to show the least amount possible. So
I'm try to get that last drop so I don't drop this on the table when I do that. There you go. There you go. Maybe that's better.
Now
maybe I don't have a drop on there.
This is the problem, though. You guys don't see this. So he sucks down the coffee, and then about 20 minutes from now, he's like, yes!
That's it. Yeah.
All right. Well,
exactly.
I hope you enjoyed. Eric, send us off, man. What do we need to do?
Hey, like, subscribe, and I want to know something, because I had somebody let us know. Hey, you've got a cool thing here of what was it? A tagline for when I flip the coffee cup. I should be saying something. What do you think I should say? Because I'd love to know, and maybe I incorporate that into my flip. I've got the coffee
I got one.
cup.
I got one. I just thought of it.
Did you go?
You got your drink? No, that's mine. I'm done with that. You have your drink, and you tip it over, and you go, here's to greener pockets. Because normally you would say greener pastures.
Oh, greener pockets.
Yeah, because I can't think of you saying something really cool, so I was trying to think of something
really corny.
Really corny. Here's to greener pockets, and then
I do say really, really corny stuff.
We'll play like Mr. Rogers music on the way out, and that's it. Come on.
Here's to greener pockets.
There you go, man. That's Eric right there. He nailed it.